Discover the 2024 Voices of SDG16+. Each year in July, world leaders gather at the UNHLPF to assess the state of affairs of the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. From the first time the goal on peaceful, just and inclusive societies was reviewed, the Voices of SDG16+ campaign was initiated to display videos showcasing extraordinary efforts being undertaken towards SDG16 at local levels. Join us for a unique virtual event on the 10th of July and get inspired by stories bolstering action on SDG16+ in times of converging crises and amplifying the important work done by civil society. Together, let's make our voices heard for more sustained peace. Register here to reserve your spot.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Peter van Sluis. I'm the coordinator of the Civil Society Platform for Peacebuilding and State Building. I'm handing over to my co-moderator, Sophia Ramya, from one of the early Voices editions. Sophia, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. I would like to welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining us. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all at this official HLPF site events for the 2024 Voices of SDG16 Stories for Global Action video campaign. My name is Sophia Ramyar and I'm alumni of the 2019 Voices campaign. I'm thrilled to moderate this event today in which sterile video entries from across the globe will be showcased. As an alumni, I understand the importance of highlighting the work of young people as they advocate for creating strong and just inclusive. This is not just a noble endeavor, but a critical solution to reducing global inequality and challenges that in the world exist. However, this work is fraught with challenges, yet it's truly inspiring to witness how these young women and men champions persevere despite these obstacles. Their determination and resilience are valuable lessons for all of us who believe in this cause and strive to make a difference. I hope today's event became an opportunity for everyone joining us from around the globe to be inspired, learn, and renew our collective commitment to this important mission. Allow me to now hand over to my co-moderator, Peter, who will give us some more background on this year's campaign and the program for today. To you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and it's an honor to be co-moderating this event with you. As I said, my name is Peter van Sluis. I'm the coordinator of the Civil Society Platform for Peacebuilding and State Building, or short CSPPS. CSPPS is one of the 9 partner organizations that are supporting this campaign in 2024. Voices of SDG16+ is a collaborative video campaign that aims to bring the work of civil society on SDG16+ to the high-level political forum on sustainable development, or HLPF. It provides a unique opportunity to showcase the extraordinary efforts undertaken by civil society towards making progress on SDG16+ at the national and local levels. Through the campaign, we want to amplify their voices, as an agenda promising to leave no one behind needs to be inclusive of all the voices. This year's campaign is in fact, the 6th edition, and we called for contributions that illustrate the need for bolstering action on SDG16+ in times of emerging crises. Reason for this is that the fact that we are navigating past the midway point of the 2030 agenda, but we see that the agenda is veering significantly, of course, in delivering the SDGs. And this is also the case for SDG16. That will go for thematic review this year at HLPF. Hence, this event provides a perfect timing for lightning examples of successful action towards more peaceful, just, and inclusive societies. In today's event, we will showcase the selected 2024 Voices of SDG16+ videos, and the agenda of this event will therefore also center around displaying these videos and giving a voice finalists to elaborate on their work in follow-up to us showcasing their videos. So then, allow me to move over to introducing the Voices of the 2024 campaign. And it gives me great pleasure, firstly, to introduce you to our first finalist, Miss Melody Benjamin from Fondation IDEO in Haiti. We will first watch the video that they submitted, and after that, I will invite Melody to take the floor and share some reflections from her end. So we're now going to look at the first video.
Les situations de violence extrême qui sévissent en Haïti et depuis les dernières années ont des conséquences sur tous les secteurs de la vie citoyenne. Que ce soit l'éducation, la santé, les loisirs, la liberté, la culture. Et les plus affectés, ce sont les enfants. Bien que des réformes soient nécessaires à très haut niveau pour atteindre les objectifs de justice et de paix du ODD 16, il faut considérer toutes les dimensions de cette violence qui existent dans les familles, les écoles, les communautés. Tout cela a poussé la Fondation IDEO à mettre sur pied de toute urgence des programmes d'éducation pour la paix que nous expérimentons depuis quelques années et dont doivent bénéficier tous les secteurs de la population. La dernière formation proposée a permis à un groupe de 300 enseignants à apprendre et à pratiquer des nouveaux concepts afin de réaliser un changement profond et durable dans leur état d'esprit et leur attitude, renforçant donc l'efficacité de l'institution scolaire et répondant à l'ODD 16.2 pour mettre un terme à la violence que subissent les enfants.
Bonsoir Madame Mélodie. Je remercie parce que vous avez fait après formation, vous fait mon page encore.
Ce programme a été aussi renforcé suite à une expérience extraordinaire qui nous a permis d'encadrer en 2023-2024 une centaine de jeunes venant de quartiers marginalisés à Port-au-Prince. Les résultats, tant sur le plan personnel et familial que sur le plan communautaire, nous permettent de renforcer notre conviction que la solution durable des conflits et l'établissement d'un climat de paix sont intimement liés à l'éducation, et cela dès l'enfance.
Il y a un jeune garçon, mais il vient quitter l'école parce que les parents n'ont pas de possibilité économique. Il veut faire des amis avec de l'autre monde qui a des âmes. Pendant la formation, je viens un peu de maturité. J'ai assez de vocabulaire. Je dis à un jeune garçon, dis-moi, il n'est pas senti qu'il a collaboré avec monsieur Sayo, qui a des âmes, et puis désormais, il n'a pas des âmes encore.
Nos années d'expérience, les témoignages de la population, les résultats dans les différentes communautés nous prouvent que la seule manière d'éradiquer la violence, c'est d'aller dans les causes profondes enfouies dans le mal-être de la personne. Inculquer l'amour et le respect de soi, des autres, de sa communauté et de son pays, et permettre aux citoyens d'être heureux, représente des éléments essentiels pour contribuer à l'épanouissement de la société juste, inclusive et pacifique pour laquelle œuvre l'ODD 16.
Tous ensemble pour Haïti!
That was our first video. I'm now handing over to Melody to share some reflections on basis of the submitted. I hope that my colleague Tiffen can spotlight Melody. There you go. Floor is yours.
Good. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to all of you watching. At Fondation IDEO, our immediate goal is to train 40 peace agents in order to spread that culture of love and peace in Haiti for the long term. When we talk about establishing peace, it seems to me that the focus is more on gun control, using violence to control violence, and putting together plastic superficial programs, which can give an illusion of less noise, but that does not solve the problem. Nature does not create conflict. Conflict and war are created by men through prejudice, fear, anger, misunderstandings, mistrust, pain, putting fault on others, whether a group, an ethnic, a color of skin, a government, putting fault on things and events. Going to the root of the conflict is the only real solution to reach a humanity where people live in peace. If conflict is created by people, why are we not thinking that peace should also be created by people? But what kind of people? Studies show that only 5% of the global population in the world are profoundly healthy, positive people. 5% are hardcore negative people, but 80% of the population can go either way, fostering peace or creating conflict. Why are people different? Experiences that they have went through, trauma, betrayal, loss, blessings, victories, joys. But the common denominator is the choices that they make from what they've learned about themselves and about the world. This is why this program that we have already started focuses on discovering and healing. The core is teaching responsibility, breaking down walls of taboos like the power of love through action. We are actually in the process of training 40 young people from unstable neighborhoods in Haiti to help them build their life with dignity and also become peace agents to pay it forward in their communities and throughout Haiti, a peace force. Before I finish, I'm compelled to share with you Christian's story, which he shared with us. Christian is one of the 40 young people in the training. Today, he's 30 years old. From a low-income single mother family and low-income neighborhood, he did not have a difficult childhood, but at age 17 in 2012, disaster struck with the death of his mother. From his own words, he had nothing to look forward to and no attachment to anything in this life. So all the preconditions to join a gang. He was fortunate enough to have a friend of his mother care for some of his needs, and she referred him to IDEO for therapy sessions to help him through his loss. Since then, Christian has been a child of IDEO, participating in many personal development programs, conferences, and being exposed to personal growth literature. In Christian's words, despite my low income status, today I feel that my family respects me because I have respect for myself. In the past, the option to join a gang was always valid. However, every time I would think about these trainings, about these values I learned, I would change track. From our experience, establishing peace is not so difficult. You have to understand the illness in order to apply the appropriate treatment. We have to sow love to reap peace. Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to share with all of you.
Thank you so much, Melody, for sharing. It's truly inspiring to hear about the work and the impact you make at your society. Now it gives me great pleasure to announce the second video submitted by Mr. Rofi Isfo from Norsec in Ghana. We will watch the video and then I will give the floor to Ms. Rofi to share his reflection.
Northern Ghana is a region steeped in rich cultural heritage and history. However, long-standing ethnic land and chieftaincy disputes have adversely impacted the development of the region and have made it highly susceptible to violent extremist organizations. The persistence of these conflicts has alarmed stakeholders, particularly security agencies and civil society organizations, who fear that violent extremist groups might exploit these internal disputes and their consequences, such as unemployment, poverty, etc., to recruit disgruntled youth to perpetrate violence both home and abroad. In recent years, there have been increasing concerns of violent extremism spiraling into Ghana from neighboring countries in the Sahel region. The stakes are high, but hope remains. NORSAC is partnering with the University of Maryland, Washington State University, and the West African Network for Peacebuilding with funding support from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, crafted a unique strategy, the Civic Education, Engagement, and Athletics, CEEA, under the USAID Trust to Peace activity. This strategy is aimed to transform social and communal relations across conflicting and potential conflicting groups and communities through sports in 20 locations across the 5 regions of northern Ghana. Sports have a unique power to bring people together, transcending language, culture, and historical grievances. From local football matches to inter-community games and athletics, these activities foster dialogue, trust, and understanding. This is why sport was recognized as a tool for promoting peace and development by the United Nations in 2001. NORSAC, through the USAID Trust to Peace activity, employs athletics as a tool in creating safe spaces for potential conflicting groups to meet, play, interact, and dialogue among themselves, thereby enhancing empathy among them, resolving their differences, and building social trust. This approach has been effective in addressing hate, discrimination, and marginalization, and fostering sustainable peace in communities. In northern Ghana, over 40 communities, comprising 60 youth, women, ethnic, political, and religious groups, have engaged in sports activities under the Civic Education, Engagement, and Athletics Initiative. Through sports and one game at a time, NORSAC is breaking divisive cleavages, uniting communities, and helping to sustain peaceful communities where everyone thrives.
Rofik, you have 4 minutes to share your reflection about the video and the work you're doing.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Rufai Isifu. I am the Peace and Security Interest Lead at NORSAC. Before I proceed to share with you a brief about NORSAC and the work we do, I would like to state that any information that I'll be sharing here today does not reflect or does not represent the views of our partners. So NORSAC is a national NGO based in Ghana, established in 2002 and headquartered in Tamale, the northern regional capital. We have presence across Ghana, particularly the 5 northern regions of Ghana. NORSAC's vision is to promote social transformation, living conditions through strategic community engagement and policy influencing. And to achieve this vision, we work with networks of youth, women, children, excluded groups, and like-minded organizations to strengthen their agency and to help them exercise their rights. NORSAC works in 5 main interest areas. Number 1, peace and stable communities, improve economic opportunities, improve healthcare delivery, better educational outcomes, and social protection. I lead the peace and stable communities interest area. We work with 3 main stakeholders: the youth, women, and children. We also work with key partners, including government ministries, departments, and agencies, local governments, security agencies, civil society organizations, youth and women groups. So what's our operational context? As I mentioned earlier, NORSAC works largely in northern Ghana. And Ghana as a country is a stable democracy in the West Africa sub-region, where we've practiced democracy over 20 years uninterrupted. And northern Ghana, as I mentioned earlier, borders the Sahel region, particularly the Burkina Faso, where porous borders, marginalization, as well as community grievances are exploited by violent extremist groups and organizations to carry out attacks. These violent extremist groups, they do seek to expand their influence into other countries like Ghana that are stable and practicing democracy. As such, there's a need for enhanced social and communal cohesion Aside threats from these violent extremist groups from the Sahel region, northern Ghana experiences chieftaincy disputes, land disputes, as well as high levels of youth unemployment. All these factors contribute to making youth vulnerable to recruitment by violent extremist groups. So there's a need for interventions to be undertaken to help in building resilience and to preventing violent extremists from taking place. Because of these challenges, NOSAC is approaching these with 4 main approaches. Number 1, we use sport for development, where we promote and use athletics and football in bringing young people together to play and to interact, thereby enhancing empathy and understanding amongst them. In fact, one key achievement we've chalked with this approach was using this approach to bring 2 rival conflicting communities together in the Savannah region. These communities are Kabampe and Kananto, who happen to be rivals for a very long time. But with the power of sports, we're able to bring them together to play, interact, and to commit to being peaceful and to leaving the past struggles and grievances behind. Also, we undertake civic engagements. We train youth in preventing violent extremism models, as well as citizenship. We also do train women in the area of preventing violent extremism, citizenship, as well as entrepreneurship. And lastly, we do convene national and sub-national level engagements with the objective to enhancing and influencing national policy. Largely, I would like to share some of the opportunities we are exploring in the area of ensuring inclusion and building communal and social cohesion in northern Ghana. Currently, we are operationalizing and more or less exploring opportunities to use alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, people-to-people approaches to resolving conflicts in northern Ghana. Also, we are experimenting models where we will be able to empower communities, especially communities that host internally displaced persons, as well as refugees from Burkina Faso due to attacks by these violent extremist groups I mentioned earlier. So we believe that exploring these opportunities will help in ensuring that we actually nip the threat of violent extremism in the bud, especially that these violent extremist groups are exploring ways to recruit young people in northern Ghana. So I appreciate the opportunity and I look forward to discussing great ideas and insights in how we can collectively promote peace and to enhance social cohesion and communal resilience in Ghana and across the world. Thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you so much, Rufi. It's with great pleasure that we will showcase the 3rd video submitted by Ms. Blessing Ago from Speak Out Africa Initiative in Nigeria.
Hello, my name is Blessing Agu, also known as Newest. I am a project manager with Speak Out Africa Initiative. I bring to you today the Login Naija project. This project is geared towards promoting accountability, transparency, and citizens' participation at the grassroots level in Nigeria towards the effort of enhancing peace, justice, and a stronger society. In Nigeria, the local level have suffered so many negligence. The local level do not stand independent of their own. They depend on the state to survive, which is against the institutional rights of the local level. And so, there have been no election in most local governments in Nigeria, promoting secrecy, promoting crime and insecurity. And you will agree with me that 70% of Nigerians reside at the local level. So why should the local level be neglected?
the NOKEN Niger project, kickstarted in March 2024, and so far so good. We have been able to enlighten over 5,000 community members across 3 local governments in Nigeria, which is Gwagwalada Area Council, Umuahia North Local Government, and Iboise North Local Government in Enugu State in Nigeria. So we have the intention to plug in the local government into OGP. We are creating websites, we are creating FOI decks for the local government where people can come and have access to every kind of information. And also, we are also sensitizing these people to rally and demand for local government autonomy. We believe that if the local government stands alone, there will be a more peaceful, justice, and stronger society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blessing. You have the floor to share about the video we just watched and also your reflection about the work you're doing.
Okay, thank you so much, CSPPS and every other organization that is, pioneering this. I am so grateful that our video has been shared to the world to see what we're doing here in Nigeria, promoting peace, a just, participatory, and a sustainable society. So yeah, my name is Blessing Agu, and I'm a project manager with Speak at Africa Initiative, the NOKEN Niger project. So in addition to what the video had said, I just want to bring to our notice that before the pre-colonial era, we had this system of government, or more system of leadership in Nigeria, where the people were responsible to their kingdom heads, their community heads, paramount rulers. And then we had what we called the Oyo Empire, we had the Hausa Fulani Emirates, we had the Igbos having their village heads, their elders, and what have you. As a then we had a more peaceful, society, even though it wasn't so sustainable, but then it was peaceful, right? Everybody knows everybody at the local level, right? Now, fast forward back to after the colonial era, Nigeria is practicing the federal system of government, where we have the federal level, the state level, and the local level. And these 3 levels actually work independently. Of course, at some point, they have to come together to work collectively. Now, independent in the sense that financially you have to be independent, you have to be accountable to your people, you have to do, what you have to do, you have to create social amenities, you have to create infrastructure at your own level. The local government level are to build primary health care, markets, help to, solve issues of violence and conflict at the grassroots level. Unfortunately, this has not been happening. And you will agree with me that we have seen issues of Boko Haram, bandits, unknown gunmen, different kinds and types of conflict and crises in Nigeria. And these conflicts operate, they are domiciled at local levels. Everybody in Nigeria resides at the local level. So why can't we allow this local level to really function properly to enable us curb this insecurity? The issues of the Chibok, we have the banditry had, taken over Chibok and some places in Plateau, like the Boko's local government, some other local government in Adamawa, in Yobe, in Borno State. And we at Speak at Africa, when we have done our need analysis, we understood that the easiest way to curb this problem of conflict, insecurity, crisis, towards attaining a just, open, participatory, and sustainable society is by agitating and promoting for the autonomy of the local government. We want the local government to work effectively because this local government understand their people better than the federal. They understand the language, they understand the do's and the don'ts at the local level, they understand the culture. So why should they be neglected? That is why we are promoting this, although this project started this year and it is being supported by the MacArthur Foundation. We have been able to sensitize people about how they need to, join us in promoting for the local government autonomy. We believe that the village chiefs, the village heads, the community leaders, these people are closer to the local government because this is the government of the people at the grassroots level. So if they cannot handle issues, they have to call on the local governments to help them to handle issues. This is why it is very important to recognize this local government and push for them to be independent, to have their autonomy so that we can achieve a more just society. And Speak at Africa initiative, yes, like I said earlier, we are promoting this. We have been able to reach out to so many local governments. For now, we have like 3 local governments as our pilot state. And we have met with Gwagwalada local government in the Federal Capital Territory. And we just believe that it's not just about promoting their autonomy. We also want this local government to be visible in the community. We want community, international communities, we want international bodies to see what these local governments are doing at their community level and maybe learn and maybe can implement it at their own levels or at their own states or at their own, country, and see how we can all achieve a world that is, peaceful and just. So we are building a website for all these local governments. We are building a Freedom of Information Act decks at the local government because we want people to be able to come to the local government. If the matter cannot be handled at the paramount ruler level, they should be able to come to the local government, ask any kind of information that they need to, ask. They need to, know why their needs are not being, taken care of at the FOAI deck. So this is what we're promoting that. And as such, we're building the capacity of local government and also, advocating for their autonomy, basically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blessing. Then I'm pleased to showcase the 4th video submitted by Mr. Hereter Momri Sebewa from Jama Grand Slack in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Violence and destabilization is easy to maintain. Building peace and living together requires a lot of effort. For more than 2 decades, the east of the DRC has been invaded by repeated wars, bloody inter-community conflicts with the maintenance of inter-ethnic armed groups here and there. Jama Grand Lac works to imagine solutions and negotiate options for action with local community to build peace with stakeholders in violent conflict, civic society organizations, political administrative authorities, traditional leaders, victims of violence in the eastern part of the DRC. In an approach of sharing and dialogue with the communities, the focus is on the aspect of community-based reintegration of the actors in the conflict to reconcile them with their communities and allow them to work to contribute to the development of their living environment. The implementation of the Bilalo Bietu project in the territories of Rutshuru Masisi, 2 territories characterized by permanent tension, fit into this philosophy of building solutions at the level of local communities for the reduction of community violence and the creation of a will to live together harmoniously. It is a matter of building solutions in a spirit of listening to the victims, community leaders, and entrepreneurs of violence for the commitment in a new process of true reconciliation and real social peace. We contribute to the training and deployment of mediators within community for active listening, psychosocial support, social therapy, and facilitation of the reconciliation and reintegration process of competence. An approach of dialogue in humanity and truth, the real causes of violence are raised, the obstacles to ending violence are unearthed, and solutions are divided and operationalized with local actors in the communities. War and bloody armed conflict have lasted so long and the wounds are so fresh within individuals and communities in eastern of DRC. Thus, aware that war does not only kill men, but also the humanity and dignity of the living. The work of healing memories becomes a necessity for individuals to recover their sense of resilience and the possibility of working together to build another brighter future.
Well, Herita, you have the floor to share your reflection more about the video we just watched.
Merci beaucoup à Madame Sophia. Je vais devoir m'exprimer en français, peut-être qu'il va y avoir une traduction là-dessus. Comme vous venez de le dire, je suis Héritier Mumbere, je suis le directeur exécutif de l'organisation Jama Grand Lac, qui est une structure qui a vu le jour depuis 2016 à l'est de la République démocratique du Congo. Et c'est sur base de la volonté, c'était sur base de la volonté de pouvoir engager les jeunes et les femmes sur la question de la consolidation de la paix à l'est de la République démocratique du Congo. Parce que comme vous le savez, l'est de la République démocratique du Congo, c'est une des zones qui a connu maintenant plus de 30 ans de guerre et dans lesquelles on a eu à connaître beaucoup de dégâts, que ce soit humains ou matériels, avec des milliers de femmes qui ont été violées, avec des personnes qui ont été tuées. Maintenant, on est en train d'aller à plus de 10 millions de morts, avec des enfants qui ont été enrôlés dans des groupes armés par force et tout. Et dans toutes ces marmailles de questions, on s'était dit est-ce que la jeunesse devait continuer à demeurer spectatrice ou il fallait carrément trouver une option de pouvoir les engager pour arriver à travailler sur la question de la paix. C'est comme ça que l'aventure de Jama Grand Lac a commencé. Et en Swahili, c'est un mot Swahili qui veut dire famille. Ça veut dire arriver à résoudre le problème dans un esprit de famille, malgré nos différences, malgré nos diversités, mais toujours penser nos solutions dans un esprit de famille. Alors, vous allez constater que tous ces grands conflits intercommunautaires, toute cette grande guerre qui vient de durer plus de 30 ans, généralement, ceux qui ont dévadé la ligne de front, ce sont les jeunes gens. Vous regardez, maintenant, on est en train d'estimer à plus de 122 groupes armés qui se retrouvent dans la zone est de la République démocratique du Congo. Et ceux qui composent ce groupe, à plus de 90%, ce sont des jeunes gens et parmi eux, il y a même des enfants. C'est comme ça qu'on a pensé et on a vu qu'il était impossible, pratiquement impossible de penser la question de la paix sans pour autant arriver à penser comment est-ce qu'on pourra arriver à faire rentrer ces jeunes gens qui se retrouvent dans ce groupe armé dans la vie civile. Parce qu'on n'est pas parti d'un constat tout simple. Ces jeunes gens, ils ont vraiment de la volonté de pouvoir rentrer dans la vie civile pour arriver à devenir des architectes du développement au niveau local. Mais de moins en moins, ils ont un espace d'accueil au sein de la communauté. Il y a de grandes approches qui ont été pensées par le gouvernement pour les DDR dans la question de l'ère de mobilisation, désarmement et réintégration. Mais malheureusement, la plupart de ces approches-là, c'était axé sur l'individu. Ça veut dire on vient, on donne à un jeune homme une tondeuse, une moto, et puis on dit, bon, tu peux commencer directement avec ta vie comme ça. Et le problème est tel que ces jeunes gens, ils arrivaient à ne pas être accueillis au sein de la communauté parce qu'ils ont eu à violer dans cette communauté, ils ont eu à tuer dans cette communauté, et la majeure partie d'entre eux arriver à rentrer au fait dans ces groupes armés parce qu'ils ne sont pas accueillis dans la communauté d'accueil. Alors, on a pensé depuis l'année 2022 de pouvoir penser comment est-ce qu'on repense ces processus de réintégration et on l'a pensé dans une approche de réintégration à base communautaire. Ça veut dire que c'est la communauté elle-même se charge de pouvoir intégrer ou réintégrer ces jeunes gens au sein de la communauté. Et nous avons utilisé trois approches. La première approche, c'est de pouvoir travailler d'abord sur la question de la réconciliation à la base, c'est-à-dire la réconciliation avec la communauté d'accueil. Il y a des espaces de dialogue démocratique qui sont ouverts au sein de la communauté, là où on a d'un côté les ex-combattants, femmes et jeunes qui viennent de groupes armés. De l'autre côté, on a des acteurs de la société civile composés des mouvements citoyens, des associations, des leaders d'église et des leaders d'école. Et de l'autre côté, il y a des communautés, les membres de la communauté, les victimes, notamment les femmes violées et les femmes ou, disons, les familles qui ont subi des vols dans leur maison. Ils se retrouvent dans un même espace pour arriver à échanger sur ce qui s'était passé et ouvrir un couloir de pouvoir se réconcilier ces ex-combattants avec leur communauté d'accueil. Ça, c'est la première grande orientation. La deuxième grande orientation, il faut savoir que ces jeunes gens, ils viennent de ces groupes armés, ils ont déjà eu à être suffisamment traumatisés parce qu'ils ont connu la violence et même ils ont fait subir aux gens de la violence. Alors, ils ont besoin d'un espace d'accompagnement psychosocial. Et nous, on leur donne ces besoins, on répond à ces besoins d'accompagnement psychosocial qui se posent à eux avec des approches ou des séances de sociothérapie ou de psychothérapie de groupe. Et la troisième des orientations maintenant, c'est de pouvoir travailler à les incorporer dans des institutions sociales. Ça veut dire trouver des espaces pour qui trouvent par exemple du boulot et ainsi de suite. Voilà un peu l'approche qu'on a eu à donner comme innovation dans la manière de penser cette réintégration et ça a donné de très bons résultats. C'est devenu maintenant une référence à tout moment qu'on parle de la question de la réintégration à base communautaire dans la région des Grands Lacs. Et à part tout cela, tout ce travail-là de réintégration à base communautaire, nous continuons avec un travail intéressant sur la question de l'éducation à la paix. Et là, on incorpore non seulement les jeunes, mais aussi on mise sur les femmes qui sont déplacées parce que la réalité actuelle est telle que la plupart des femmes qui se retrouvent dans des camps de déplacés en raison de leur vulnérabilité, elles se retrouvent en train d'aller chercher du bois de chauffe à l'extérieur des camps de déplacés. Et là, elles sont vraiment violées par les rebelles. Et il y a ce besoin de pouvoir les remettre encore une fois sur la table là où se tranchent des grandes questions de la paix, mais aussi là où se négocient des grandes stratégies de consolidation de la paix. Et donc, nous nous sommes donné aussi cela comme mission de pouvoir travailler avec cette couche souvent oubliée dans des questions de la paix, mais aussi leur permettre à ce que leur voix puisse arriver à compter tout en faisant en sorte que leur dignité soit prise en considération dans tout ce qui est en train d'être pensé comme travail de la paix au sein de la zone est de la République démocratique du Congo. Nous avons réussi à bâtir un réseau de plus de 100 organisations maintenant qui travaillent sur cette question de la paix, non seulement sur la zone est de la RDC, mais aussi sur l'ensemble de la région des Grands Lacs. Voilà un peu d'une manière aussi brève la quintessence de cette vidéo qui a été projetée. C'est juste une petite portion d'un grand travail qui est en train d'être abattu par l'organisation JAMA Grand Lac dans la région des Grands Lacs. Mais bien évidemment, derrière tout cela, il y a un certain nombre de défis que peut-être tous les autres collègues aussi qui ont eu à exposer, ils ont fait allusion à cela. Parce que ce sont des organisations qui sont dans la communauté à la base et qui sont en train de faire un travail de titan. Mais à un certain moment, vous allez vous rendre compte que la configuration même des accompagnements tels que pensés peut-être au niveau régional ou international, ça n'arrive pas à bien rencontrer ces organisations qui sont dans la communauté. Du coup, ça, c'est un enjeu, un grand défi. Et sur lesquels il va falloir regarder peut-être toutes les organisations qui se retrouvent dans la campagne qui a été lancée, de regarder comment est-ce qu'on peut repenser la configuration d'appui et d'accompagnement pour faire avancer là où l'objectif de développement durable, c'est ce qui est en train d'être mis en vogue dans cette séance. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Héritier, for this very detailed explanation of your approach in the DRC. It's very much appreciated. I hope that everybody in the call has seen that the translation is being provided on the intervention that you made. It's in the chat for those who don't speak French, but very much thanking you for the very detailed explanation of the approach taken in the DRC. We now move over to our fifth finalist, which is Fundación Sueno Igualas, and we have Mr. Oscar Linares speaking about the video that we show next. But I'll first invite you to watch the fifth video as submitted.
Este es el presente de muchos niños y niñas en la ciudad de Medellín. Su rostro y su mirada nos hablan mucho de lo que viven a diario. Un panorama incierto, donde todos los días son iguales en medio de la pobreza, la falta de oportunidades y una realidad abrumadora. Barrios como Niquitao, Prado Centro y Bolívar han sido unos de los barrios que albergan las comunidades luego de salir forzadamente de sus territorios y llegan a Medellín, Colombia. Personas en situación de pobreza, campesinos, indígenas en Vera y más recientemente venezolanos son algunos de los habitantes de estos sectores, especialmente conocidos por ofrecer pensiones o inclinatos a precios bajos desde los años 70, con cerca de 15.000 habitantes en estas propiedades. El 30% son niños. Actualmente los valores son desproporcionados, pagando por una noche entre 15.000 y 35.000 pesos colombianos, entre 5 y 12 dólares la noche. Esta es la historia de María, una pequeña que todos los días recorre los fríos, sucios y oscuros pasillos del inquilinato donde vive. En los muros y el suelo se puede apreciar el abandono en el que habitas sin esperanza de un mejor mañana, lo cual se ha naturalizado y parece algo normal, aunque no lo sea. Esperar por un plato de comida que muchas veces no llega, perder las fuerzas y la motivación de un futuro mejor es la realidad que vive María, al igual que muchos niños y niñas. La realidad es crítica por el hacinamiento y la convivencia con personas desconocidas en el inquilinato, pues quien tiene el dinero suficiente para pagar tiene la posibilidad de vivir por este día en la misma casa. No existe privacidad ni entornos protectores, existe un riesgo alto de abuso sexual, enfermedades y problemas de salud. El uso compartido del baño y de todas las zonas es un gran problema, pues un solo baño es lo único para alrededor de 32 y hasta 51 personas, y las condiciones en las que deben cocinar con pipetas de gas o estufas de gasolina en su propia habitación es el foco de la mayoría de accidentes en los niños. Este no es un lugar apto para jugar libremente, pues es bastante el consumo de sustancias psicoactivas y la vinculación a grupos armados. La corporación Sueños y Huellas realiza un trabajo conjunto con las familias con el propósito de generar un cambio real, ya que no solo basta con salvaguardar a los niños y niñas por un par de horas al día, sino que es necesario empoderar a sus familias en el proceso para generar una transformación integral de su realidad. Llegar a la casa de los sueños para los niños y las niñas es una nueva oportunidad de crecimiento. Acá los recibimos a todos con mucho amor, acompañado de un saludo y una gran sonrisa. En la Casa de los Sueños, los niños y niñas más vulnerables de la ciudad tienen la oportunidad de recibir acompañamiento psicológico, donde juntos construyen un verdadero hogar. Reciben clases acompañadas de una profesional, quien los guía y motiva a tejer su proyecto de vida mientras juegan con sus amigos y aprenden todos los días. Las clases de inglés, música y recreación son el principio para mostrarles otras realidades y así crean que un mejor futuro es posible.
Okay, we'll now move over to Oscar, who will speak on behalf of the organization that submitted the video. I hope that my colleagues can spotlight Oscar subsequently, and then the floor is yours, Oscar.
Okay, thank you so much. No, first, I just want to say thank you for everyone here. Trust me, just hear everyone full of me, of hope, of passion and inspiration to keep working here in Colombia. Yeah, just want to say hello from Colombia. And just to tell you a little more about what we do. Imagine Medellin is I call it the contrast city, because now it's one of the most famous cities around the world for foreigners, for tourists who want to come and know our history. But at the same time, we have other part, the dark part of the city. And imagine that you are a kid, you are a child, and you have to grow up seeing around you just drugs, just sexual abuse, and you are living in a tenement, or we call it here in Medellin, inquilinato, which is a big house, and you are just seeing around you dark things, really hard situation. Maybe your dreams could be, I don't know, be the next dealer of the neighborhood, or maybe be the next leader of your gang, but you don't have hope, or you don't have dreams about education, about be a professional or something like this. But why, if we can make something and we can change the situation or the reality of around 15,000 kids in Medellin? That's why we started Sueños y Huellas, especially Lorena, who is our director and our foundation or founder of the organization. She, with her friend Janie or Janira Castro, started the foundation 10 years ago because they lived in inquilinatos. They know the reality. They know what kids suffered in inquilinatos. And that's why we started the foundation 10 years ago. We started working with kids, with children who live in inquilinatos because they are in danger, because they around there, they just can't find drugs. They just can't find sexual abuse, and they don't have enough food to live. That's why we started, because we really believe that peace and justice is just the result of education. And that's why we started the program. We try to bring education for kids. For over 10 years, we have been helping more than 200 kids and we try to keep them in a safe environment, in a safe place where they feel comfortable, when they can get education, where they can get enough food, because they have 3 meals per day with us. And at the same time, we try to educate and bring all the sources that parents need to be the people who guarantee their human rights. We have been working for 10 years. We don't have the government support or something like this, but we really believe that we are making something, because if you change the life of children, you can be like, you can see a generation be transforming. And that's why we really believe that the work that we are doing is really important. Yeah, I just really appreciate everyone here who is working in your country. We really believe that we can get it. We can go and help more kids, because their hard situation now is in inclinatos or in tenements. Is coming more people, because inclinatos is a really common place for people who are really living a really hard situation, like Venezuelan people who are living a really hard situation in their country. For people who have suffered violence in their places, as we have around Medellin, other cities, and like Monteria or Urabá, and they are suffering violence and they come to Medellin without money, without opportunities. That's why tenements or inclinatos is a good option. But for kids, it's really hard. And we just want to bring hope. We just want to bring other perspective, other things for the kids. And we really believe that the work that we are doing, we will see the result. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you very much for sharing that very inspirational story, and wishing you also, with the others, the very best in the work that you do. I would like to now move over to our 6th finalist, and that will in fact be the last video that we will show in this event. It is submitted by Ms. Debora Napi Tupulu from Wahana Visi in Indonesia. There was a bit of a hiccup in the very last hours before the event, because they needed to change the video, and we will now have an updated video, hopefully ready to be showcased. Then maybe while we wait for the video maybe to be showcased, maybe it needs to be loaded. Maybe I want to give the floor to Debora Napitulupulu from Wahana Visi Indonesia, maybe to take the floor first and explain a little bit about the video before.
Okay, we are sorry for the trouble, because there are some revision for this video. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Debora Napitupulu. I am the project manager of Community Transformation for Peace in Papua, or we can call it NOKEN Papua, that implementing by Wahana Visi Indonesia. Wahana Visi Indonesia in 3 locations in Papua province. So I will tell you a little bit about Wahana Visi Indonesia. Wahana Visi Indonesia is a Christian humanitarian organization dedicated to working and collaborating to empower the most vulnerable children, families, communities, regardless of religion, race, ethnicity, or gender. As a child-focused organization, Wahana Visi Indonesia collaborates with World Vision Australia and 3 local faith-based organizations, continues to fight to create a safe environment for our children, particularly in Papua, an area that is still prone to horizontal conflict in Indonesia. It breaks our hearts when conflict occurs, for example, because of alcohol misuse, prejudice among indigenous tribal groups, or dispute over land ownership, which sometimes lead to crises that causing children, youth, and women to insecurity and violence, and limiting their access to enjoy rights to safe education and economic life. In the pursuance of Sustainable Development Goal 16, we have been implementing the NOKEN Papua project, which aims to contribute to social cohesion and peace building in Papua through transform relationship and improve capacity among civil society actors to prevent conflict, respond to crisis, and build peace. The project contributes to creating an environment for enabling children to grow in peace by, first, empowering youth to promote peace and tolerance, and then second, enhancing relationships and capacity among civil society actors to prevent and resolve conflicts through shared norms, values, and traditions. Third, we strengthening local government capacity and developing an enabling environment for culturally sensitive dialogue. The project applies and modifies the social behavior change approach called Empowered Worldview by World Vision, focusing on reconstructing the community's perspective on conflict. The approach aims to transform relationships among groups by firstly acknowledging unique and diverse individual and group identity and eliminating how cultures can unite groups and serve as tools for peace and build a vision for their hope for harmony. From thousands of people trained, more than 64% of young people, women, and community leaders can identify ineffective methods for preventing violence, resolving conflict, and resisting extremist activities. We also witness positive changes in the willingness of different tribes and religious groups to interact in social cohesion events. Participants concluded that conflict is a common thing in everyday life, and they learn that the important thing is how to manage it. In light of sustainability of impact, we continue engaging local government through capacity strengthening activities and advocacy efforts, which significantly resulted in 9 contextual early warning systems and contingency plans for social conflict. We will continue to collaborate with the community, church, and government in enforcing and replicating the best practices. We hope everyone owns this peace-building awareness and continue to make an impact for a better and peaceful world for every child to experience life in all its fullness. That's all from us. Thank you for your time and attention.
Halo, nama saya John. Saya pemuda dari Sentani.
Saya Ibu Mince dari Biak.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Maria dari Wamena.
Kami merasa cemas dengan konflik-konflik antar kelompok, suku, jemaat karena gosip-gosip yang beredar di masyarakat dan main hakim sendiri.
Di mana tanah yang tadinya dianggap tidak ada masalah, kemudian ada pemalangan. Misalnya ada sekolah yang tidak bisa melaksanakan aktivitasnya dengan baik karena tiba-tiba ada masyarakat yang datang yang memiliki tanah itu atau hak wilayah itu menuntut pembayaran atau pelunasan sehingga pendidikan juga menjadi korban.
Saya juga rasa cemas dengan masalah kriminalitas dan kerusuhan yang membuat anak-anak dan perempuan merasa tidak aman. Anak-anak tidak bisa pergi ke sekolah dan perempuan tidak bisa pergi berjualan. Saya punya mimpi supaya masyarakat bisa saling menghargai sebagai sesama manusia, apapun latar belakangnya, mau dia laki-laki atau perempuan. Perempuan bisa menjadi agen kerukunan di sekitarnya dan memperjuangkan hak-haknya.
Awal mula saya mengenal program NOKEN yaitu saat mengikuti pelatihan membangun kerukunan untuk pemuda. Dari situ saya menyadari bahwa kita pemuda bisa melakukan banyak hal untuk mewujudkan mimpi-mimpi kita di masyarakat. Lalu saya mengikuti pelatihan bagi para calon fasilitator. Saya memfasilitasi diskusi pemuda lintas kelompok untuk menganalisis potensi konflik di sekitar mereka dan membuat rencana aksi kerukunan. Bersama pemuda-pemuda se-Jayapura mengadakan kegiatan yang mempertemukan berbagai kelompok masyarakat, yaitu Sentani Youth Festival. Selain itu, program NOKEN juga mengadakan seminar literasi digital dan pelatihan multimedia supaya pemuda tidak mudah terprovokasi dan justru jadi agen kerukunan lewat media sosial.
Ya, sebelumnya juga saya menjadi salah satu peserta untuk mengikuti pelatihan sebagai agen penggerak kerukunan yang kemudian juga dilatih sebagai pelatih.
Setelah itu saya memfasilitasi pelatihan pemuda, juga diskusi pemuda untuk menganalisis masalah di sekitar mereka. Memfasilitasi kohesi sosial pemuda, yaitu membawakan acara lomba menyanyi sewamena kota. Memfasilitasi pelatihan untuk perempuan sebagai agen kerukunan di masyarakat. Para perempuan yang telah dilatih kemudian merancang kegiatan-kegiatan yang mempersatukan sekaligus memberdayakan ekonomi mereka. Misalnya olah kuliner ubi-ubian lokal di Jaya-Wijaya, pelatihan kuliner, anyam noken dan lidih di biak.
Melalui NOKEN, kami tidak lagi berpikir tentang diri kami sendiri, tapi berpikir tentang kerukunan yang juga harus dinikmati dan dialami dan tercipta juga untuk orang lain yang bukan harus satu suku, iman atau satu gereja, tapi untuk setiap orang.
Dari kegiatan tersebut, masyarakat bisa saling mengenal satu dengan yang lain, dan perempuan juga sangat senang karena bisa melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang mempersatukan masyarakat.
Saya lihat pemuda sekarang punya kesadaran lebih tentang masalah di sekitar mereka, bahkan mewujudkan rencana aksi untuk menyebarkan pesan-pesan kerukunan. Saya lihat yang dulunya satu teman lebih mudah emosi, lebih mudah pengaruh dengan gosip-gosip, tapi setelah dia ikut kegiatan-kegiatan NOKEN, dia bisa lebih bijak dalam menanggapi masalah. Biasa dia jadi yang terdepan saat pertikaian, pang. Sekarang dia justru jadi penengah.
Yang tadinya mereka cuma pikir bahwa mereka tuh tidak ada apa-apanya. Tapi ketika mereka terlibat dalam kegiatan NOKEN dan mereka merasa seperti mereka menemukan diri sendiri. Menurut saya juga sebenarnya bisa menjadi agen perdamaian.
Kalau biasanya perempuan dengar isu-isu begitu atau satu gosip, dia mulai cerita tambah-tambah bumbu dan meneruskan ke teman-teman yang lain. Tapi sekarang perempuan sudah lebih bijaksana karena bisa membedakan persepsi dan fakta. Naila neta iken motog wetnio eloko ken hanorasuok nayaklak nerugi wetnio oamena hanorasuok.
So with that, we come to the end of showing the finalists of this 2024 Voices of SDG16 Plus campaign. Let me allow me to thank Debora and Wahana Visi Indonesia again for sharing also this video, and I would like to congratulate all the finalists, and I mean, it has been a pleasure to showcase your videos. We will now move over to the next segment in the program. We want to also put a spotlight on one of our earlier SDG16 Plus alumni. As you have seen, this event is co-moderated by Sophia Ramya. I would like to invite my co-moderator to maybe share a few reflections as an alumni from the 2019 Voices of SDG16 campaign. Sophia, maybe can you perhaps reflect on your experiences as an alumni and also maybe share some updates on the work that you're doing and have been doing on the organization Afghan Progressive Thinking in Afghanistan? Floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. It has been a privilege to both co-moderate and also to share my experience and reflection as an alumni. First of all, I would like to thank all of today's finalists for their wonderful and inspiring work in their respective countries. It has been a privilege to learn about your efforts and the impact you have made and making every day in your community, which I believe is far from easy. Creating a just and inclusive society is a journey filled with challenges. Yet, these obstacles only strengthen our resolve to contribute to this crucial cause, both globally and locally. As I listened to the finalist presentation and watched their video, I was transported back to my time in New York in 2019, where I met so many inspiring young leaders. There, I learned that each of our contexts were so uniquely different and at the same time similar for the work that we were doing around SDG 16. Because of this, I have remained in continuous contact with my colleagues from places like Philippines, India, Pakistan, Europe, and North America. And regardless of the Afghans for Progressive Thinking, or APT, the organization which I submitted the video, and I have been leading this organization for the past 10 years. First of all, let me remind us that our context has changed drastically since the Taliban took over the country tragically in 2021, but our vision and APT has remained the same. I think I just forgot to mention that I'm from Afghanistan, and I'm sure all of you know what had happened to Afghanistan. So I'm not going to share about what's happening on the ground, but I will share about the work we are doing to help young people, particularly young women who now has no opportunities from education, work employment, no freedom. They are just present inside their homes. So the work we do at APT, we continue to work for change in Afghanistan, change of situation for young people, particularly young women. Despite so many challenges, our commitment to promoting gender equality, inclusive and peaceful Afghanistan remain unwavering. Afghans for Progressive Thinking, or APT, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting peace with a primary focus on addressing the human rights crisis, particularly women's rights, and advancing education for young women. Over its 14 years of operation in Afghanistan, APT has built extensive network across the nation, impacting over 60,000 individuals and fostering a vision for peace and inclusive society. Currently, our work focuses on the following areas. First, mentoring for higher education for young women. APT connects female university students in Afghanistan with mentors abroad, offering crucial support to young women pursuing higher education. Currently, no women have access to education in Afghanistan. Only girls below 6th grade can go to school. Above that, no girls. There is 0 girls going to school and 0 girls going to the university since Taliban took over in August 2021. In addition to that, we also provide education for 150 young women and boys up to 5th grade in northern Afghanistan. Our second focus area is policy advocacy for human rights. Every year, we are mentoring young women, empowering them to voice their concerns through writing on human rights situation in Afghanistan. By doing so, we engage with the international community and advocate for critical reforms in the country. Now, it's very difficult in Afghanistan to to access the first-hand data because the media is censorship by Taliban, everything is controlled by Taliban. It's very hard to know about what's happening on the reality. So we work with these young women, we empower them, and then they write about the reality for the international community and also their recommendation that how the international community can support them in advocating for their rights. Our second focus area is coping with mental health crisis due to ban policies in Afghanistan. Through this project, we aim to gather appropriate mental health tools from experts inside and outside Afghanistan and make these tools available to young women. We also train young women on how to use these tools to cope with psychological issues that they deal now. Since the women has been banned from like everything, all their rights, women are suffering from the mental health crisis, and every day it's increasing. Even young women are contemplating to do suicide. So we work with these young women to find tools to be able to help themselves, but also help their community and their family. Our fourth focus area is fostering youth leadership and dialogue. For over a decade, we have been providing training in leadership development, debate, and creative writing to Afghan youth, particularly women. In the past 3 years, we have created opportunity for more than 200 women to write and publish their story, particularly under the Taliban rule, advocating for their rights. And in recent years, our flagship program has been the appointment of a youth representative to the United Nations. This representative is tasked with addressing challenges and conveying the voice and concern of the younger generation to both UN and global platform. This initiative is inspired by and aligned by the UNSCR 2250, Youth, Peace and Security. This initiative achieved significant success when we started in 2018. And so far, we have selected 4 youth representatives that all of them has addressed the UN Security Council, sharing about the challenges and opportunities that young people in Afghanistan face, and also on recommendation how the UN can support them. So that's all about the work that we are doing in Afghanistan. And then I would be happy to if you have any question, when we had the session of answer a question, I'll be happy to answer about the work we are doing, anything about Afghanistan. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and thanks for sharing this update. Albeit a very sobering update, of course, given the changes that have happened in your country. But I mean, I'm very much in admiration of your commitment, your continued strive to make the situation in Afghanistan a better place for also young people and women who are so much impacted by the developments happening there. Thanks again for sharing, and great to also to hear that you're still connected with the alumni from previous editions. So it's a kind of a community that is still active and engaging with each other. So that's also good to hear. We will now move over to a brief question and answer session for any of the participants in this meeting to either ask questions to the voices that have been selected and showcased in this event, and also maybe to Sophia, if you have questions, so to Sophia. So I suggest that both Sophia and myself will moderate this, but if there's anybody who wants to make an intervention or wants to come in with a reflection on what you have seen or what you have heard, please feel free to take the floor, raise your hand, and make yourself heard. And it's always difficult to break the ice with the first person coming in, but who is the person that I can give the floor? I don't see anybody raising their hand. Now I see Marie-Marguerite. You can speak in French or English, whatever you prefer. That's translation in the chat. Floor is yours, Marie-Marguerite.
Oui, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Vraiment, c'était une expérience unique, une belle opportunité d'écouter les différentes expériences. Vraiment, c'est formidable ce travail que fait ensemble la communauté internationale. Mais j'ai une question pour celui qui a présenté son projet de la RDC. Et comme je vois qu'ils vivent un petit peu, nous vivons en Haïti des situations un petit peu identiques. Euh, et il a parlé de réinsertion au niveau des enfants qui participent à ces groupes armés. Je voudrais qu'il me donne, si c'est possible, un petit peu plus d'informations sur le processus. Il a parlé de 3 solutions pour pouvoir assurer la réinsertion de ces jeunes. Et il a parlé de la réconciliation avec la communauté. Est-ce que ce serait possible de partager avec nous les défis rencontrés au sein de cette réconciliation? Comment ça a été vécu, particulièrement par les victimes? Comment et quel est le laps de temps qu'il a fallu pour parvenir à cette réconciliation? Donc, je serais intéressée à avoir un petit peu plus de détails sur ce processus de réconciliation. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Marguerite. This is a question for Heriche. Heriche, can you answer the question immediately? Or...
Merci beaucoup, Madame, pour la préoccupation qui vient de soulever. C'est de savoir dans notre processus là, les défis qu'on rencontre, surtout sur la partie de la réconciliation. Et justement, c'est un processus normalement qui demande un peu plus de temps. Parce que, comme vous le savez, pour les acteurs qui interviennent vraiment à fond sur le terrain sur cette question, ça demande d'abord qu'il y ait ces liens de confiance qui vont devoir arriver à se nouer, à se construire. Et pour que ça soit ainsi, c'est un processus aussi qui demande un peu de patience et aussi cette capacité pour les gens qui sont en train de mener ce processus à pouvoir faire déboucher à ces liens de confiance. Et raison pour laquelle, à un certain moment, ce genre de projet arrive à s'ébiter à l'obstacle selon lequel, par exemple, vous avez un projet qui est financé jusqu'à un certain moment ou à une certaine période. Du coup, quand le processus est en train d'avancer, le financement arrive à couper. Ça, c'est le plus grand défi auquel on essaie un peu souvent de faire face. Mais déjà, avec l'expérience qu'on a acquérie sur base des conflits qu'on a eu, dans lesquels on a eu à intervenir, nous avons réussi à développer un certain nombre d'outils qui nous permettent de pouvoir rentrer dans ces liens de contact, rentrer dans ces tissages de relations, côtoyer l'humanité de l'autre, comme on aime beaucoup le dire. Et à côtoyer cette humanité-là, par exemple, pour une femme violée, le fait qu'elle puisse arriver à sortir de cet affaissement dans lequel elle s'est retrouvée, sortir des traumatismes qu'elle a eu à subir, tout en sachant que son bourreau est en face de lui, ça demande vraiment beaucoup de temps. Et ça, c'est ce qui a toujours manqué, c'est cette patience-là pour les acteurs qui interviennent dans ce domaine-là. Alors nous, on a développé des approches, on a créé même des espaces permanents, d'échanges permanents au sein des communautés locales pour continuer ce travail-là. Quand bien même le projet peut arriver à s'achever, on a toujours des espaces qu'on a construits dans la communauté qui continuent à faire ce travail, mais beaucoup plus misé sur les approches ou l'orientation de l'accompagnement psychosocial. Parce que dans des zones à conflit comme la RDC, avec 30 ans de guerre, les enfants sont nés. Moi-même, je suis né dans la guerre. Et la zone dans laquelle je vis, la ville de Goma, c'est une ville qui est maintenant entourée par des rebelles. Et j'ai eu les membres de famille qui ont été violés, d'autres qui ont reçu de coups de balle et tout et tout. Tout ça, ce sont des traumas qui se retrouvent dans la plupart des mentales, non seulement des jeunes, mais aussi des adultes dans cette zone. Mais maintenant, comment on arrive à composer avec cette réalité-là pour arriver à espérer réellement bâtir de vraies sociétés pacifiques? Parce qu'à un certain moment, on a beau faire des grands ballets diplomatiques pour espérer construire la paix à partir du haut, mais le vrai problème, se retrouvent à la base et les vraies solutions, c'est là qu'il faut aller les chercher avec des gens qui vivent déjà ces problèmes-là, mais aussi avec les gens qui ont cette passion de pouvoir regarder les choses évoluer dans le bon sens. Et donc, c'est dans cette orientation-là qu'on essaie un peu de faire ce travail et qui continue, mais qui n'est pas fait aussi sans sa conséquence parce que à un certain moment, il y a toujours ces menaces que vous allez recevoir, mais aussi, comme je venais de l'évoquer, cette insuffisance de moyens. Pourtant, c'est un travail vraiment qui a qui vont tous pesant d'or, étant donné que c'est la communauté qui sait les vrais problèmes qu'elle est en train de traverser, mais aussi c'est à elle de pouvoir espérer construire des vraies solutions qui rencontrent les attentes qui se retrouvent même au sein de ces communautés locales-là. Voilà un peu les défis auxquels souvent on fait face, mais cela n'empêche de pouvoir continuer toujours dans cette perspective, parce qu'à un certain moment, on s'est dit, bon, OK, sur tous les acteurs qui interviennent dans ce domaine-là, vont donner comme motif les obstacles qu'ils rencontrent et rentrer dans une orientation de nos actions, c'est qu'on fait finalement le choix de pouvoir pérenniser ce qu'on a rencontré ici. Et à un certain moment, l'idée, c'est de dire, est-ce que, oui, on a rencontré la guerre, mais les conflits intercommunautaires, l'extrémisme avec la culture des discours de haine et tout. Mais est-ce qu'à notre niveau, avec le peu qu'on fait, ça peut déjà constituer une lueur d'espoir pour d'autres personnes et permettre peut-être à la génération qui est en train de venir d'espérer encore mieux que ce que nous, on a rencontré. Et c'est autour de ça que se retrouvent tous les grands enjeux, toute les grands défis sur lesquels on est en train de travailler actuellement. Mais rassurez-vous, ce n'est pas aussi un travail aisé ou facile. Donc, ça demande vraiment beaucoup de sacrifices. Merci.
Merci, Héritier.
Merci beaucoup pour cette clarification. Vraiment, bravo.
Merci beaucoup, Héritier. Thank you very much for that explanation. I'm moving over to Lucy Shahenza. You have your hand up. Please take the floor.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm Lucy Shahenza from Nairobi, Kenya. And I'm so happy for the fundraise and also for the videos that we have seen. But I have a question and an interest because peacemaking globally, it is needed most. And through the videos that we have seen successful stories. But besides that, there are so many tensions in the world today. What are the panelists, our panelists doing concerning maybe the countries that we are living in for those people who are not in peace? Because many people, like the old women and the young children, they are very much affected. So I would like to get an answer of the plans of the future about peace and decision-making when it comes to such issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that question, Lucy, and it's a very pertinent question, of course. I would like to invite our voices to actually speak out. What are you doing to actually make your country a more peaceful, just and inclusive country? Maybe I can invite any of the voices to come in and reflect on this. Anybody who wants to speak to this question? Debora, Melody.
If you could clarify the question for me, I was looking at the chat because I wasn't sure to understand.
I think the question was about how do you in your country and your context work on bringing about a more peaceful, just and inclusive society in terms of next to showcasing the work that you do, but also what is the prospect of your organization, you yourself, bringing about a more peaceful, in your case, Haiti or a country where you are residing.
Okay. In our case, in Haiti, what we're doing is work directly with the population, because we understand that on a higher level, we don't have much power, because there are things that you cannot influence. However, when you work within the population, when you heal the population, when you help parents have a closer relationship with their kids and stop beating on them, when you help couples have a better relationship with each other, when you help teachers have a more positive approach with the kids that they're working with, you find that you can create at the base a more peaceful society. Because like I said, I think that conflict is created between people. So if you are able to bring more peace within families, bring more peace within schools, and bring more peace within communities, then you have a long-lasting change, and you don't need to rely on outside, because you know that you have established something that is permanent inside the community. And whatever happens on outside, whatever is brought by other people, well, the people within the communities have a different outcome into life. They understand that they are responsible for their lives, and they're not going to be blaming the government. They're not going to be blaming outside communities, but they're going to understand that they are responsible for their kids, for themselves. And that's how we believe that you can create long-lasting peace, because they're going to be creating their own lives and not have to rely on the outside.
Thank you for sharing that, Melody. I see hearts in your direction. I see a hand up by Modupe Adalani. Please unmute yourself, and good if you can also activate your video and ask your question or share your reflection.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was just going to just keep quiet and then listen to everyone. But yeah, I'm the executive to Shield Them Support Organization. We are based in Abuja, Nigeria, and we've been working since 2016, working with children. When we talk about peace in a nation, we are talking about who are these children? You know, for a better future, we cannot but work on our children. We find out that most children now, they don't even talk to their parents. They don't want to, because their parents initially don't listen. They complain a lot about their parents, and it's not helping issues. So we're complaining about the parents, we are complaining about the justice system, and it's not really helping us. Like now, what we do is we do outreaches, most especially in the grassroots. We go to schools, we go to churches, we try to, we work from the side of human rights for the children, child's rights. You know, a child has a right to a peaceful environment, a safe environment. But we discovered that with what is happening now, especially because of the economic situation all over the world, parents seem not to care for their children as before. All they wake up to do is, how am I going to provide for my family? So by the time they come in, most especially the mothers, you know, they don't even have time to listen to these children. And then what we have in our hands right now is we have children that are left on their own, that are neglected, that need a lot of care. So yes, so many of us are in this field. We are trying to fill up, but it's not an easy thing, but we keep on doing it. So my organization, this is what we do. We are coming against sexual abuse. We are creating awareness and trying to prevent and do some referrals, collaborating with other organizations, civil society organizations. And we're talking about exploitation, where children are being exploited sexually, where they are being exploited when we talk about child labor, child labor, and child trafficking. Everything is just going on. So it's not easy for Nigerian children. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing those reflections. At the very tail end of this event, I'm just looking whether there's maybe a final person wanting to come in and speak before we get to the close of the event. I don't see any further hands up. Venkat, you want to come in? Please. Final words are for you before I end the event.
First of all, my dear people, I'm so very happy to have attended the session, and it was really excellent listening to all the panelists. I'm Dr. Venkat from Cardiff University. I have a reflection and a question for our panelists. And also thanks a lot to the colleagues who were translating the word, because I could not understand, and thanks a lot to you, I was able to understand. Looking at the work that the panel has been doing and all the colleagues, you tackle a lot of issues in terms of peace building, from a range of dimensions, looking at several actors and at different levels, which was quite fascinating for me to see the spectrum of your work, ranging from displaced children, sexual abuse, economic exploitation, and how you are working with the individuals in terms of reconciliation, helping them with mental health, working with the local governments, etc., which was quite nice. Currently, I'm looking at peace building through STEM education, especially engineering education. That is my specialization, and I'm always like trying to find ways to integrate peace building into higher education, especially STEM. And now my question to the panelists and also to the people in CSPPS would be like, what are the recommendations? Like, we have looked at several aspects. So do you have any practical recommendations on how these wider works of the panel members could be incorporated in STEM education, so that the students who are in higher education can learn about this and feel empowered that they might be able to work on this? It would be really fascinating to hear your view.
Is there anybody of the finalists who wants to reflect on that, on how to integrate this also into, I mean, making these videos, but also the work that you do, also included in curriculum and educational systems?
Can try. What I'd say is, I do understand what STEM is, but I think in any kind of education, introducing emotional intelligence, learning about your emotions, learning about communication with other people, learning about how to actually love people, conflict resolution in any type of educational system, in any class, I think that would really make a great difference, because whatever you are learning in life as a profession or intellectually, what you are building into your brain, learning to be a better person within yourself and have better relationships with other people. I believe that across education, to me and to us at IDEO is what we do, is the basis for establishing peace. So I would say even it's in STEM, introducing emotional, we know that they don't teach that in school. How do I feel and how do other people feel? Teaching empathy and recognition for other people. This is what I would say you can integrate into the STEM program.
Thank you, Melody. Maybe over to Blessing for final reflection on this.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to add that I remembered there's this particular project that we did in Pan Africa Initiative. Yeah, of course, we promote sustainable society. So this project was geared towards, promoting the integration of digital skills into the Nigerian curriculum. So we've been able to, that was last year, it started since 2022, and till now it's still ongoing till next year. So we understand that at the, we call it secondary school level, and even the tertiary level, right? Digital skill education is not really imbibed into the children, right? Into students, because you get to go to school, then you get to learn all of this, learn empathy. I mean, there is a particular subject called social studies. So that social studies teaches you empathy, teaches you how you relate with your fellow man, how you have to understand the other person's perspective. But then we understand that there's high level of poverty in Nigeria, right? And thank God the world is tilting towards digital skills, towards ICT. So we have been doing this since last year, promoting the integration of these digital skills. I know you talked about STEM. So I know STEM has to also do with digital skills, right? Has to do with technology, engineering, and what have you. So promoting the integration of this in the curriculum, people should learn it from the foundation, because we believe that if you come out from school and you cannot get yourself a job, you can start a job yourself. I mean, because we understand that one of the ways why people, go into crime and every other of these kind of vices is because they don't really have what to do. They are not occupied. They don't have jobs. So they tend to want to do every other kind of crimes and social vices. But then learning digital skills, I mean, you can never learn enough of digital skills. Learning it from the foundation, keep the young people to be equipped, to be engaged, and also give them platform to also be, to also earn in future, even if they cannot get to have to get a job after education at the secondary or maybe tertiary level. Thank you.
Thank you, Blessing, for that, and thank you for sharing also those perspectives from the Nigerian context. I have to apologize for being a very bad timekeeper and for keeping you a little bit longer than that was planned, but I thought this exchange with various perspectives is also very enriching. So I hope you don't mind that we go a little bit over time. I want to close by, first of all, thanking my co-moderator, Sophia Ramya, for agreeing to host this event together with me. I would also like to thank the co-organizers and the partners of SDG16+, the Voices campaign, 9 organizations. As I said, you saw that on the beginning slide who these organizations are. It has been a pleasure to again host this event this year for the 6th time. I would like to very much thank the speakers, of course, also for their open and frank willingness to share reflections and share their experiences. And I would also like to thank my colleagues Stephen and Gabrielle for their great work in the translation and sharing the videos so that everybody could see the videos at the moment in the program where it was meant to be. You will find the videos also showcased on the Voices of SDG16+ websites. They're also available on our CSPPS YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch them, you can also find them there again. It has been a pleasure to hosting this event for you. I hope it has been enriching for you as it has been enriching for me. I would like to thank all of you for your participation and wishing you all a great day. Thank you very much, and bye.